We're live at Pac Bell Park in San Francisco. So happy to have you with us, everybody. Game 3 of the 2002 World Series. I'm Rory Markus, along with Terry Smith. The Angels and the Giants about to get underway. They had the ceremonial first pitch here a moment ago, and it was a fun sight to watch as Willie Mays tossed out the first pitch. He threw one into the stands, and then he threw a strike into Barry Bonds, who was catching him behind home plate. Joining Mays on the mound, Willie McCovey, Juan Marichal, and Orlando Cepeda. It was a real Giants moment. But the Angels would like to disrupt any Giants victory celebration that might occur if they were to win this World Series. The Angels, of course, are just 3 wins away from a World Championship, but they're also 3 losses away from going home. So we're into Game 3 of the World Series, and for tonight's starting lineups, here is Terry Smith.
All right, thanks, Rory. And first up for the hometown National League champions today, and of course, mention the fact that Willie is the godfather of Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds went over the 600 home run mark this regular season, but he still trails Willie Mays as far as career home runs. He's 47 home runs behind Willie Mays. Hank Aaron, of course, the all-time career leader in homers, followed by Babe Ruth. Willie Mays is number 3, and Barry Bonds, who is 47 home runs behind his godfather. Of course, he'll have a chance to try and jump in front of him for 3rd all-time in the 2003 season. Livan Hernandez loosening up. We are just about set for Game 3 of the 2002 World Series. And back with all the play-by-play action, here's Rory Markus.
All right, thanks so much, Terry. It is 5:29 p.m., 62 degrees at game time, brought to you by Hotwire. Looking to get more for your travel dollar? Log on to Hotwire for deep discounts on flights, hotel rooms, and car rentals. Hotwire partners with quality travel companies to bring you amazing deals you can't find anywhere else. Log on to Hotwire today to see how much you can save on your next trip. Livan Hernandez is loosening up for the San Francisco Giants. The crowd ready to go. They are in full force. Of course, it is sold out here. The standing room only is about 10 deep in some places. I don't know how some of those folks can see, but it's a beautiful area out there just in front of McCovey Cove, and if anybody hits a home run up there, they might get a souvenir. It's only 309 feet down the right field line, but the ball doesn't carry at all to right. 365 in one power alley, 421 as it angles out into right center, and then comes back into 399 in dead center, 404 just to the left center of that, and then 382 in the left center field alley. And Livan Hernandez signals that he is ready to go. The Giants and the Angels tied up at 1-1 in this World Series. Hernandez had 12 wins this year, but he lost 16. However, a lot has been made of the fact that he is 6-0 in postseason, 1-0 this year. He had a no decision last time out. He was 1-0 for the Giants against New York in the year 2000 in the division series. 2-0 for the Marlins against Atlanta in the LCS in 1997. 2-0 for the Marlins against Cleveland in the World Series in 97. So he went 4-0 in 1997. That's where a lot of those wins come from.
Rory, for what it's worth, Hernandez was roughed up in a spring training game by the Angels. He gave up 8 hits in 5 innings. And the Angels had a couple of home runs against them.
David Eckstein at the plate. Here's the first pitch of the game. It's taken for a strike. Tim Cheetah, the home plate umpire. Eckstein did not like that call. He has a smile on his face, but it's not out of pleasure as he turns around and questions Cheetah. Hernandez into his windup. The right-hander's 0-1 pitch to Eckstein is hit right back to Hernandez. He gloves it for the out. Eckstein lines out to the pitcher. And a very nonchalant grab by Hernandez.
Well, he is a very good fielding pitcher. You look at him, and he's always been a guy that some people have questioned his weight, although this past offseason he hired a personal trainer and dropped 20 pounds. He's probably in the best shape of his career, but he's quick for a big guy and a very good fielding pitcher out there on the mound.
He's listed at 6'2", 240. Darren Erstad steps in now. Erstad without a home run in this World Series. 3 for 10. First pitch to him. A little bit outside for ball one. 1 ball, no strikes to Darren. 1 out in the top of the first inning. Game 3 of the World Series, and not a bad day at all. There's not much breeze, so it's not freezing cold as some were fearing it might be. There's a bouncer to third base. Up with it is David Bell. He throws Erstad out. 2 down. There was some drizzle earlier today during batting practice, but nothing too serious, and it is overcast. Now Tim Salmon stepping in. Tim Salmon hit the big 2-run home run to help beat the Giants in Game 2. He hit it in the 8th inning, giving the Angels an 11-9 lead. They won it 11-10. Of course, Bonds hit the home run in the 9th. In the postseason, Salmon hitting .293. In the World Series, .500. He's 4 for 8. The pitch by Hernandez, a fastball up and in, ball one. The Giants defensively with Snow at first, Kent at second, O'Reilly at shortstop, Bell at third. Outfield left to right, Bonds, Lofton, and Sanders, and Benito Santiago doing the catching. 1 ball and no strikes to Tim Salmon. Hernandez winds and delivers, and Tim takes a fastball high again, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. If you've not been to Pac-Bell Park, it's a beautiful setting right on the bay, San Francisco Bay. The Bay Bridge is over to our left. If you could see through the left field stands, it would be right there. Here's the 2-0 delivery. Salmon looks at a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike to Tim as Hernandez got the breaking ball in. Hernandez throws a lot of different pitches, variations on his breaking ball at different speeds. Stands there with his hands together and both feet on the rubber as he looks in. He winds and delivers 2-1 to Tim Salmon. Sidearm, and he missed with it, ball 3. Hernandez listed at 6'2", 240. From Cuba originally, lives in Miami Beach now. 3 balls and 1 strike to Salmon. Hernandez comes to the plate 3-1, and the curve ball is swung on and missed. Ooh, that was a good pitch by Salmon, who turns around to ask Tim Cheetah if it was a strike. The count has gone full, 3-2, and now the San Francisco fans rise to their feet, just as the Angel fans did in Anaheim with 2 strikes. 3-2 to Salmon. Livan Hernandez into his windup. Here's the right-hander's 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball, got him. A half swing strikes Salmon out. The Angels go down quietly in the first in 1-2-3 order. And after half an inning, the Angels nothing, the Giants coming up. And we move to the bottom of the first inning. No score in the game. The Angels went down 1-2-3 in the top of the first. Kenny Lofton, Rich Aurelia, and Jeff Kent to face Ramon Ortiz, a 15-game winner in the regular season. Kenny Lofton hitting .265 during the postseason. He hit .267 as a Giant this year. And Ortiz set to go to work. Ramon winds. His first pitch is up high for ball 1, a fastball that missed. Lofton was showing the bunt. Lofton is hitting just .125. He's 1 for 8 in the World Series. Ortiz comes back 1-0, and it is bunted, but foul by Lofton. 1 ball and 1 strike. It was interesting during the Giants' introductions on the sidelines as they line up on the third baseline. Every player went all the way down to the end of the line and shook hands with everybody out there, including the training staff and all of the clubhouse personnel, except Bonds. Here's the 1-1 pitch, fastball high and away, ball 2. He just walked from the dugout to his spot on the line and didn't shake hands with anybody. 2 balls and a strike to Kenny Lofton. Ortiz delivers, and a fastball just missed. Benji Molina held it there. But Ramon did not get the call, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. He does not want to put himself in an early jam by walking Kenny Lofton. 3-1 the count. The first 2 innings really critical for Ortiz. 3-1 pitch is bunted, foul. Lofton really deadened that ball nicely, but it rolled foul along the third baseline. The count goes full, 3-2.
This infield surface here at Pac-Bell Park in very good shape. They do a good job here with their grounds crew, and the thing that's a little bit unusual about this field, if you're watching on television, you'll notice there are no seams, there's no cut marks on the grass here, no designs, anything like that, true bounces.
3-2 pitch is outside, ball 4. Kenny Lofton draws a leadoff walk. That's usually trouble. That'll bring up Rich Aurelia. Gloss goes in to say something to Ramon Ortiz. Aurelia hitting just 111, 1 for 9 in the World Series. After a very good series against the Cardinals.
Not a bad move by Troy Gloss to go over and say something to Ramon. You like to see Troy take a leadership role on this club, and he went over and had some words of encouragement, I'm sure, but also told Ramon, hey, let's just go after these guys and get out of this inning.
Aurelia hitting .244 in the postseason with 4 home runs. Ramon throws over there to first base high. Jumping back in is Lofton. Spezio at first, Kennedy at second, Eckstein the shortstop, Gloss at third. Outfield, Garrett Anderson in left, Darren Erstad in center, Tim Salmon in right. And Benji Molina catching. Rich Aurelia at the plate. Ramon sets, delivers. Breaking ball outside, ball 1. Ramon struggling a little bit here on the first 2 batters control-wise.
And not a real shock to see that because he hasn't pitched in 13 days, but the Angels need him to get in front of these batters. Strike 1, very important for Ramon here in this first inning.
As Ramon backed off the mound and Aurelia had something in his eye, he called timeout. Benji Molina was pointing out at Ortiz and saying, come on now, just you and me. Just throw it right in here. Big hole on the right side. The pitch to Aurelia is ripped down the third baseline, foul. Aurelia hit it hard but pulled it too much. 1 ball and 1 strike. They're playing Aurelia to pull, particularly in the infield with Kennedy shading second base. So there is a huge hole on the right side, bigger than normal, with Spezio holding a runner on over there. And the runner, of course, is Lofton, so they might try to do something with him.
Tim Salmon in right field is way off the line over towards right center.
1 ball, 1 strike to Rich Aurelia. Ortiz tosses one over to first base. Lofton is back. On deck is Jeff Kent. Giants batting, bottom of the first inning, no score. The Angels went down 1-2-3 in the top half of the inning against Livan Hernandez. 1-1 to pitch to Aurelia. He waves at it and misses. Throw to first base. Safe. Oh, just getting back is Lofton. Benji Molina almost picked Kenny Lofton off of first. Spezio held that ball up there for the first base umpire, Mike Winters, to see. But they did not get the call. Lofton to take a couple of steps towards second base. He really had to scramble back. Ooh, they might have had him. If Spezio got the arm, they would have had him. He might have missed the arm. It's hard to tell even on the replay. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Aurelia in the dirt. Benji again to first, and again Lofton just safe. Oh, 2 very close plays. The Angel dugout very close to first base. They thought they had him. So that's twice now that Molina's throws have beaten Lofton. Spezio that time did not get the tag on the arm for sure. As he catches that ball and turns around to put it on Lofton, Kenny sliding and avoiding the tag. The first time, I'm not sure whether he got the arm or not. But the throws are beating Lofton to first. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Aurelia. Ortiz throws over there. Lofton jumps back into the bag.
Well, the Angels are really making Lofton work over there at first base. He hasn't tried to steal a base, but he's had to do a lot of moving, mostly back to the bag over there.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Rich Aurelia. Lofton at first, nobody out in the bottom of the first. Ortiz checks. Here's the 2-2 pitch, way high and inside. Ball 3. Ramon missed by plenty with that fastball, and this is a big pitch coming up for Ortiz. Starting the game with back-to-back walks would not be a good sign for Ramon.
You do not want to put people on base with Kent and Bonds coming up.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Lofton will probably run. He goes. The pitch is swung on and missed. Molina's throw to Kennedy, safe at second base. Aurelia strikes out on a breaking ball, but Kenny Lofton, after almost getting picked off at first, steals second. 1 out, a runner at second for the Giants, and Jeff Kent coming up.
Kenny Lofton, one of just a couple of players in their lineup who will run. The other one is Reggie Sanders. Lofton during the regular season had 29 stolen bases. He's had 3 already in the postseason.
Jeff Kent at the plate, 1 for 9 in the World Series. The 1 is a home run. 1 out, 1 on in the bottom of the first. Ortiz trying to get out of the first inning and not let the leadoff walk hurt him. We'll see if he can do it with Kent and Bonds due up. Kent calls timeout, and I think he's telling the umpire that the blimp is bothering him. The blimp right now is hanging right over center field. And he pointed out there. Dusty Baker's kind of laughing about it. But you would see it out of the corner of your eye where it's positioned right now. Now they're ready to go. Ortiz delivers to Kent. Fastball in there. Strike called. 93 miles an hour on the outside corner. Good pitch by Ortiz. 0-1 to Jeff Kent. Hitting .234 in the postseason with only 1 home run and 2 runs batted in. Ortiz 0-1 delivery. Swung on and missed. Good slider by Ortiz. He jumps ahead of Kent 0-2.
It'll be interesting here if Ortiz can get Kent with Bonds waiting on deck and first base open. If the Angels will just put him on, we'll see.
Ramon sets at the belt, checks Lofton and delivers. And it's just outside with the slider. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There are a few Angel fans amongst the black and orange of the Giants. There are a few red jackets and some thundersticks even here tonight. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count. Kent waiting. Ortiz at the belt, looks at second. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball high, ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Ramon's already made 16 pitches here in this first inning with just 1 out.
Ortiz staring in at Kent. Lofton's at second base. He walked and stole second. Aurelia struck out. Now it's 2-2 to Kent. And the pitch. A half swing off of Ortiz's glove. Everybody is safe. Boy, that's a big out to give away. It was a one-hopper right back to Ramon. He put the glove up and the ball hit him on the heel of the glove and bounced away. We'll see how they rule it. They've given him a hit. The Giants have runners at first and third with only 1 out, and Barry Bonds at the plate.
It's going to be walked even with first base occupied.
They will put Bonds on and load the bases with 1 out. The crowd is booing, but Socha standing there very calm as Bonds is being intentionally walked. Well, that's a tribute to Bonds that the Angels are willing to put another runner in scoring position with only 1 out. rather than have Bonds hit a 3-run home run. I think that home run he hit in the 9th inning in Game 2 convinced a lot of people who might be thinking, can we challenge this guy? No. There's ball 4. And Bud Black is going to the mound. So Ortiz has walked 1, struck out 1, muffed a bouncer back to him, and now delivered an intentional walk. And now he has to throw strikes to Benito Santiago.
Santiago was an all-star catcher for the Giants this season, so he is not an easy out.
Umpire coming out, Tim Cheetah, to hurry things along as Molina talks to Ortiz. Bud Black's going back to the dugout. Santiago at the plate. Bases loaded, 1 out. A critical point in the game, even in the 1st inning. Ortiz needs a double play ball. The Giants with a hit could be off to a great start. Santiago 2 for 9 in the World Series, hitting .260 in 12 games of postseason play. Ortiz sets the pitch to Benito. Breaking ball is tapped towards second. Kennedy will only be able to get 1, and the run scores. Lofton comes in. It's 1-0 Giants on a ground ball out by Santiago that drives in a run. Well, that being said, the last 2 Giant hitters have not had much of a swing. Kent was a check swing bouncer back to Ortiz that he missed. Santiago was a check swing roller to second that drives in 1. And now if Ortiz can get JT Snow, he won't have had too bad of an inning. He will have gotten through a rugged 1st inning with only 1 run. On the other hand, Snow gets a hit here, and it's 3-0. So this is a big at-bat right here. 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs. Ortiz delivers, and the fastball is in there. Strike 1 called.
JT Snow has come up big for the Giants in the first 2 games of this World Series, and he's had a good postseason overall. He's driven in 4 runs in the first 2 games of the series.
He's 3 for 7. 0-1 pitch to him. Breaking ball up high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bonds at second. Jeff Kent at third. 2 outs in the 1st inning. A run in for San Francisco, but they want more. Ortiz comes back 1-1, and Snow hits it back to Ramon. He fields this one, runs halfway to first base, and underhands to Spezio for the out. The Giants get the run, but all things considered, Ramon got out of that fairly lucky. 1 run on 1 hit. There were no errors and 2 left. Garrett is 3 for 9 in this World Series. He'll be followed by Gloss and Spezio, and Livan Hernandez winds the first pitch to Garrett. Breaking ball at the knees, a called strike, 0-1. Garrett hitting .319 in the postseason with a couple of home runs. 9 runs batted in. Hernandez winds, and the 0-1 pitch is hit to the right side, fielded by Snow. He underhands to Hernandez. Nice play. Garrett hit the ball fairly hard. 1 out in the first, or in the second rather, and that'll bring up Troy Gloss. Gloss is also 4 for 8 in this World Series. Same as Salmon coming in. The Angels' first 4 batters have gone down to Hernandez. 1 out, nobody on. Top of the 2nd inning, 1-0 San Francisco. Livan Hernandez is making his 3rd postseason appearance this year for the Giants. He delivers, and Gloss looks at a fastball in there for a strike. 5 years in a row, Hernandez has had 30-plus starts. This year he had 33. So he's been durable. The 0-1 pitch to Troy Gloss. Breaking ball, low and outside, ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike. His best year, winning-wise, was in 2000 with the Giants. He went 17-11. 1 ball, 1 strike to Troy. Hernandez comes back to the plate, 1-1. Sidearm fastball, a little bit outside, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Hernandez is the first Giants pitcher to post 3 straight 200-inning seasons since Vida Blue and Bob Knepper both did it, 78, 79, and 80. There's a fastball low and away to Gloss. 3 balls, 1 strike. Beautiful Pac Bell Park, the site of Game 3, 4, and 5 of the World Series this year. If the Angels win at least one of these games, we'll be back in Anaheim on Saturday. Hernandez winds on the 3-1 pitch to Gloss. Curveball belted down the left field line. If it's fair, it's gone, and it is foul. Gloss just missed a home run. The left field line umpire is Angel Hernandez, and he took a good look at it, took his time, and made the call foul, 3-2. When Gloss hit it, Hernandez reacted as though he thought he'd given up a home run. He kind of bowed his head and went, doggone it. But it hooked foul. Not by much. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Hernandez into his windup. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Gloss. He lines that one down the right field line, and that one's foul. Into the seats down in right. Troy going the opposite way on the full strike pitch.
Well, Gloss has already hit 6 home runs this postseason, which ties an all-time Major League record. So if he gets another one anytime during this World Series, he'll have had the most home runs in a single postseason.
Hernandez already feels like he's dodged a bullet on that one down the left field line. It's a full count to Troy. The 3-2 pitch is fouled away again on the right side. That one's going deep up into the seats. So the count remains full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. It's been an overcast day and rather cool, but not too bad. Temperature in the low 60s. Might cool down a little bit more as we get later in the day. There was some drizzle earlier today during batting practice. Nothing right now. The count, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Troy Gloss. 1 out, nobody on, top of the second, 1-0 Giants. The 3-2 pitch is hit in the air into center field. Lofton moving to his left, backing up, and makes the catch on the warning track. Boy, Gloss had some good swings, but the ball is very unlikely to go out there where he hit it. Let's pause 10 seconds for our stations to identify themselves. This is the Anaheim Angels Baseball Network.
The Anaheim Angels on Talk Radio AM570 KLAC Los Angeles. Home of Gil Gross mornings 5 till 9 a.m.
Rory, Markus, and Terry Smith, along with our producer-engineer Darren Chan, Frank LaForelli back at our flagship station, KLAC. 2 outs in the top of the second inning. And Scott Spiezio at the plate for the Angels. Spiezio 2 for 6 in the series. Batting left-handed. Hernandez winds and delivers, and Spiezio looks at 1 outside for ball 1. Hernandez has set down the first 5 men he has faced. Plenty of boat activity out in McCovey Cove today. Some of them are just parked out there, but most of them are hoping for a home run ball out there. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Spiezio. Fastball on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, you mentioned Hernandez setting down the first 5 in a row. He's a guy that normally gives up a lot of hits. Last 2 seasons, 499 hits allowed.
His 1-1 breaking ball is fouled off the end of the bat, strike 2. That was a slow changeup.
Oh, that looked like one that his half-brother El Duque, Orlando Hernandez, throws. That was the Ephus pitch right there.
1-2 to Spezio. 2 out, nobody on. Hernandez into his windup. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Fastball just outside. Close pitch. But it's 2-2 now to Scott.
That's right around where Hernandez will top out, 89. He will very rarely reach 90 miles per hour.
He's even on the count to Spezio, 2-2. Hernandez started into his windup. Spezio calls timeout and backs away. Hernandez is a slow worker. He'll look in for the sign for quite a while and then is very deliberate into his windup. Now here he comes, 2-2 to Scott. There's this changeup again, and he missed outside with it, ball 3. He went to a full count to Gloss, and now he's gone to a full count to Spezio. With 2 out, nobody on here in the second inning. The Angels have not had a base runner, but at least they're making Hernandez work here in the second. They went down very quietly in the first. The 3-2 pitch to Spezio is fouled straight back. Heading back toward our position here. We're a little bit left of home plate and back a ways. Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Beautiful ballpark, the big Coke bottle, which is a slide inside out in left field. And the old style baseball glove. The bay off to the right. And it is full of Giant fans tonight with a few Angel fans scattered amongst them. The 3-2 pitch to Spezio is down low, ball 4. So a walk and the Angels' first base runner of the night. With 2 outs, that'll bring up Adam Kennedy. Kennedy, 2 for 8 in the World Series, with 1 run batted in. Having a great postseason, hitting .367, 4 home runs, 3 in 1 game against Minnesota. And he's driven in 9 runs in 10 games. 2 outs, Spezio at first, J.T. Snow holding him on. Hernandez delivers. Kennedy rips one down the left field line. Bonds running into the corner. He can't get it. It's a fair ball, and it hops up into the seats. Oh, that's a bad break for the Angels. That would have scored a run. Kennedy hits one right down the line, and it one hops up into the seats for a ground rule double. Spezio has to stop at third. That cost Anaheim a run.
Livan Hernandez has had lady luck on his side here in this inning. The near home run by Gloss, and now the ground rule double off the bat of Adam Kennedy.
That one was about 2 feet fair. Bonds giving chase over there. Was unable to quite catch up to it. And it bounced up right into the seats. So a big break for the Giants. Now the Angels need a 2-out hit, but the Giants are going to walk Benji Molina and pitch to Ortiz with the bases loaded. So that might just kill the Angels, having that ball bounce up into the seats. Now they'll pitch to Ramon Ortiz, who is in a neck-and-neck battle with Kevin Apier as far as who is the worst hitter among the pitchers, but I think Ortiz would probably win that battle.
Never had a hit, 0 for 14. Never had a sacrifice bunt, not that that would do you any good now, but Ramon just not very comfortable swinging the bat. He can certainly help his own cause, though, if he could come through.
He'll bat here, but the base is loaded and 2 outs as Molina gets the intentional walk. Spezio at third, Kennedy at second, Molina at first, and here comes Ramon Ortiz. So here's the big difference in the ballparks. It's not so much the park itself as it is the rules. Kennedy's the number 9 hitter in Anaheim. Ortiz is the number 9 hitter in San Francisco.
Well, Ramon's going all out right now. He put the batting gloves on, and now he has the shin guard on his left leg. So he's looking the part of a hitter. Now we'll see if he can come through as one. And now he flicks off the shin guard.
He didn't like the feel of it. He took forever to put it on, and he got up there and took it off. All right, bases loaded, 2 out. Ramon 0 for 7 in his career. And Hernandez delivers to his counterpart, and it's right in there for a called strike, 0-1. This would be a great time for Ramon to get his first major league hit. He took batting practice yesterday. The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Badly missed it on a breaking ball. So it's 0-2 to Ortiz.
This is where playing National League rules really comes back to take a bite out of the Angels.
Hernandez, 0-2 pitch is swung on and missed, and the Angels leave him loaded. So a very unlucky inning for the Angels. No runs. They get 1 hit that bounced up into the seats. No errors and 3 left after an inning and a half. World Series Game 3 brought to you by Thermacare. Feel the difference between can't and can. Bottom of the second, Reggie Sanders to lead things off for the Giants. They lead it 1-0. The Angels having an unlucky top of the second. We're turned aside without a run. And now Ortiz delivers to Sanders, and he swings through a fastball. High fastball from Ramon. Sanders swinging a hot bat in the series, 4 for 7. Couldn't quite catch up to it. No balls, 1 strike. The Giants are making their 17th World Series appearance, the first since 1989. And just the 3rd time since moving to San Francisco in 1958. They lost to the Yankees in 62, and they lost to the A's in 89. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It bounces up there. 1 ball and 1 strike to Sanders. They're trying to win their first World Championship since 1954. They swept the Cleveland Indians that year in 4 games. 1 ball and 1 strike to Reggie Sanders. Ortiz delivers, and it's low again, ball 2. Again, he bounced one up there. That one goes right by Molina. The Giants first made the World Series in 1905. They played Philadelphia and won that one in 5 games. Giants over the years since interleague play has been adopted are 11-5 over the Angels. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's a high pop fly in foul ground. Gloss has a look at it, but it's back up into the seats. The count, 2 balls, 2 strikes to Reggie Sanders. Sanders, David Bell, and then the pitcher, Livan Hernandez. Reggie Sanders having a good World Series after hitting just .250 in the regular season. He had 23 home runs, drove in 85 runs. He's very much a streak hitter. And for the first 2 games in this series, he's been in a good streak after being very cold in the NLCS. And now he strikes out on a good Ortiz slider. Sanders is out, 2nd strikeout for Ortiz.
That slider, a big pitch for Ramon. If he can get them to chase that pitch low and away on the right-handed batters, he's very effective.
Ramon seems to have good stuff tonight. They haven't hit him. He was hurt in the first inning by a walk, stolen base, and then a ball hit back to him that he couldn't handle. The pitch to David Bell, fastball up high, ball 1. Giants 1, Angels nothing. Bottom of the 2nd inning at Pac Bell Park in Game 3. The 1-0 pitch to Bell. Breaking ball low and outside, ball 2. There's no doubt that playing in the National League Park hurts the Angels' attack a little bit because they are a team that is not power laden, but they're solid 1 through 9. Now they're solid 1 through 8, and 9's an automatic out, at least while Ortiz is pitching. There's ball 3 to Bell. He falls behind the 8-hitter, 3-0. And the 3-0 delivery. Oh, that's up and in on him. Bell walks on 4 straight. So that'll bring up the pitcher, Hernandez. Levon Hernandez, as Troy Gloss goes over to talk to Ortiz again. And you wonder if maybe Mike Scioscia told Gloss, look, I'm going to count on you that if Ramon looks like he's a little upset, go over and chat with him, calm him down. Hernandez not a bad hitter. 264 lifetime. This year, he hit 234. Drove in 6 runs. So 234, that's not too bad for a pitcher. But he's up there to bunt. And the first pitch is bunted. Right to Spezio. Good bunt by Hernandez. Tagged out by Spezio, but he moves Bell up.
Talked about it earlier tonight. He's a terrific bunter. He had 10 sacrifice bunts during the regular season, so he has helped his cause many times in the past, the way he handles that bat.
2 outs now with a runner at second base for the Giants and Kenny Lofton at the plate. Lofton walked in the first inning, the 35-year-old center fielder. Stepping in to face Ortiz with 2 down in the second. Ramon into his stretch, looks at second, and as he came to the plate, Lofton called time. Ortiz made the pitch, but the umpire, Tim Cheetah, had granted him timeout. 2 outs, Lofton 1 for 8 in the series. He scored the Giants' run in the first inning. Ortiz pitch to him is hit toward first base. Spezio has it. He'll go to the bag, and Ortiz gets out of the inning. So a pretty good inning for Ramon, who gives up a walk and nothing else. No runs, no hits. 1 man left on base. And at the end of 2, the Giants won, the Angels nothing. Top of the 3rd inning, 1-0 Giants. David Eckstein, the top of the order, leading off for the Angels. Hernandez first pitch to him, low and outside for ball 1. Eckstein hit a soft liner right back to Hernandez his first time up. He's 4 for 11 in the series. That's 364. Hernandez comes back to the plate 1-0, and it's outside ball 2 with a fastball. Hernandez was a little bit lucky in the second inning. He gave up one that he thought was a home run to Gloss, but it just hooked foul. He gave up a double to Kennedy that would have driven in a run had it not bounced into the seats for a ground rule double. There's a strike into Eckstein. Then he was able to intentionally walk Molina and strike out Ortiz. 2 balls, 1 strike to David Eckstein. Hernandez into his windup and the 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball stayed inside, ball 3. Angels trying to get the leadoff man on base for the first time tonight. 3 balls, 1 strike, the count. Eckstein waits up there. Hernandez comes back 3-1, and it's across the outside corner for strike 2. Eckstein, Erstad, and Salmon, the top 3 in the Angels batting order. Here in the 3rd inning. Hope you're enjoying it tonight on the Angels Radio Network. Game 3 from San Francisco. Full count to David Eckstein. Levon Hernandez 3-2 pitch is outside. He walked him. Eckstein hurries to first base. That's the 3rd walk given up by Hernandez, although one of them was intentional. And Darren Erstad stepping in.
Well, Hernandez walked 71 during the regular season. That's a pretty high number. He did pitch over 200 innings, though. But the Angels showing some plate discipline here in the first few innings, not chasing bad pitches.
Darren Erstad grounded out to third base his first time up. Now we have timeout called again, and the home plate umpire is pointing up to the press box. Somebody may have had a light on. Not sure what home plate umpire Tim Cheetah is pointing at, but he is signaling for somebody to move over.
Might have been some sort of a reflection coming from one of the luxury boxes that was giving some of the Giants fielders some problems.
Could be Nancy Masmanian, who is in an unauthorized area. We know that. You can hear the umpire talking to the third base umpire. I think it was in the lower press box, which is a section down below us. And Darren Erstad now allowed to step in. Eckstein at first base. Nobody out here in the top of the third inning. Angels trailing at 1-0. Erstad 3 for 11 in the World Series. Here's the stretch and a toss to first base. Eckstein gets back in there. Erstad grounded one to the third baseman, David Bell, his first time up. Darren, 28 years old now, signed a 4-year extension this season. Hernandez ready now, looks at Eckstein. A long look and now a throw to first base. Eckstein dives back in there.
Joe Madden saying before the ball game, the Angels bench coach, that Hernandez has a pretty good move to first base. But once he decides he's coming to the plate, he's a guy that takes some time delivering the pitch. So you can get a pretty good jump on him if you time it right.
The stretch again. Here's the pitch to the plate. Erstad takes outside, ball one. 6-0 in the postseason. Hernandez. Only 4 others have gone 6-0 or better in postseason play. Orlando Hernandez, his stepbrother, Oral Hershiser, Lefty Gomez, and Mariano Rivera have won their first 6 postseason decisions. So Hernandez in some pretty good company right there. 1 ball and no strikes to Erstad. The check of Eckstein. The pitch to Darren. Fastball outside, ball 2. Levon Hernandez missing now here in the third inning. He has walked Eckstein. He's fallen behind on Erstad 2-0. Erstad and Renicky, Eckstein staring at Renicky in the third base coaching box to see if the Angels might have something going here with a count 2-0. JT Snow holding Eckstein on. And the stretch. Here it comes 2-0, and that's in there for a called strike.
Well, a lot of times in this type of situation, we see the Angels hit and run, and there is a big opening on that right side of the infield with Snow holding the bag and where Ken is positioned towards the second base bag. So a lot of daylight on that right side of the infield.
Especially 2-1. Hernandez steps back off the mound and bluffs that Eckstein back in there. Now the stretch. Eckstein does not go, and the pitch is outside, ball 3. I think Scioscia senses that Hernandez is struggling with his control. He didn't want anybody wiped out on the bases when it looks like Hernandez could possibly walk Erstad. 3 balls, 1 strike to Darren. Nobody out, top of the third inning. 1-0, the Giants leading the Angels. Big pitch coming up here for Levon Hernandez. He checks Eckstein, who goes. The pitch is whacked down the right field line. That's going into the corner. Sanders is over there to play it. Eckstein is being held at third. The ball came right back off the wall right to Sanders, but it's a double for Erstad, and the Angels have runners at second and third with nobody out.
Well, we thought the Angels would hit and run, and sure enough they did. And now a great scoring opportunity here with nobody out for Tim Salmon, who, of course, is coming off the big game in Game 2 of the World Series.
Scioscia really picked his spot well there, not running 2-1. But on 3-1, he let him go, and Sanders was fortunate there as that ball came right off the wall to him. But the Angels have a big opportunity right here. Second and third, nobody out. Tim Salmon at the plate. Salmon struck out swinging his first time up. The infield is back. The outfield is deep. They'll give up a run to get an out right here. The Giants lead 1-0 in the third. The pitch to Salmon, breaking ball on the outside corner, a called strike, 0-1. Tim kind of shakes his head. Angels in their gray traveling uniforms with Anaheim across the front. No balls and a strike to Tim, who is 4 for 9 in the World Series. He hit a fastball from Felix Rodriguez the other night into the bullpen to win it for the Angels in the 8th inning.
Salmon honored today by the Sporting News as the American League Comeback Player of the Year.
No balls, 1 strike to him. From a stretch, Hernandez delivers. Salmon swings and misses at a curveball. So he's behind on the count now, 0-2. Eckstein at third, Erstad at second. Nobody out in the third. Garrett Anderson, the on-deck hitter.
Well, you might recall in Game 1 of the World Series, the Angels were not good in situations like this, leaving a lot of runners on in scoring position, stranding 8 runners in Game 1. In Game 2 on Sunday, the Angels were able to get those runners home.
They needed all 11 of them, too. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. It's a fastball outside. You get the feeling that Livan Hernandez is not going to throw Salmon a fastball that is a strike. He went 0-2 with a couple of breaking balls, and he showed him the fastball away. Now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, Hernandez really likes to work the corners. He'll work inside, outside. Very rarely will put a pitch over the plate. When he does, he just has average stuff.
Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt, ball 2. Occasionally he drops down sidearm as he did on that pitch. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Tim Salmon. Anderson next, Gloss to follow, with nobody out here in the top of the 3rd inning, and the Angels trailing 1-0. 2-2 to Tim Salmon. Hernandez has his sign from Santiago. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Ground ball to third. Off the glove of Bell. He throws to first base low, and it's too late. The run is in. The Angels tie the ball game up at 1-1, and Salmon beats the throw to first base. That took a tough hop on Bell. Came up around eye level. He was able to get his glove on it and knock it down, but his throw to first base was too late. Salmon, who does not have great speed, beats it. And they're going to rule that an error on Bell. It should still be an RBI, though, for Salmon, because Bell was going to go to first base anyway. And the Angels have tied it up. There is still nobody out. He does get an RBI.
That was not a real easy play. You're right. It took a funny hop, and that ball was hit sharply. But for now, they will score it as an error. It was hit right at Bell, but that ball did not take a true hop.
They ruled the 1-hop comebacker to Ortiz a hit, however. The pitch to Garrett Anderson is outside, ball 1. So it's tied at 1 now, and still nobody out here in the 3rd inning for the Angels. Anderson grounded out to Snow his first time up, but Garrett hit that ball hard. Erstad stayed at second with the ground ball right in front of him, so first and second, nobody out. The 1-0 to Garrett. Changeup whacked into left field. Bonds goes back. He's going to have a play on it and makes the catch. Erstad was halfway between second and third, so he has to stay at second base. Anderson lines out to left, and with 1 out, we'll pause 10 seconds for our stations to identify themselves. This is the Anaheim Angels Baseball Network.
You're listening to the Anaheim Angels on Talk Radio AM570 KLAC Los Angeles. Home of Susie Orman, weekdays from 1 to 3 p.m.
The Angels would love to get more than 1 run out of this. They have first and second, 1 out now. Troy Gloss at the plate. He flied out to Lofton deep into center field his first time up. And he just missed a home run in that at-bat, hitting one down the left field line that hooked just foul. Hernandez delivers to him. Gloss takes a fastball high and away for ball 1. Erstad at second, Salmon at first. 1 out, 1 run in for the Angels. Here in the top of the 3rd inning, the game tied at 1. Gloss 4 for 9 in this World Series with a couple of home runs. The 1-0 pitch to him. Troy hits a high pop fly. Foul territory. Bell over near the dugout and can't quite get it. He wanted to jump into that camera well, but it was out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hernandez does not like the feel of the baseball that he was given, so he'll get a new one from home plate umpire Tim Cheatham.
Been a lot of discussion about the World Series baseball. Some of the pitchers saying they think the balls are wound a little tighter. And when you find some baseballs that are wound tighter, they tend to travel farther.
1 ball and 1 strike to Troy Gloss. 1 out, 2 men on. Gloss waiting. Hernandez sets and steps off the mound. It's not just that, it's also the fact that when those seams are as tight as the players say they are, the pitcher can't quite get that same grip on those seams, so the ball might not break as much as he would like it to. I think that definitely happened to Apier. Here's the pitch to Gloss. He hits one again down the left field line, but again he pulled it too much. A high, deep drive, but foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gloss is right on the pitches from Hernandez. He just hasn't straightened one out yet.
Yeah, he's just pulling them foul. He's getting around a little bit too fast, but you got to like his swing tonight. Santiago just went out, said something to Hernandez after that long foul ball. Hernandez started off the game retiring the first 5 batters in a row, but he set down only 2 of the last 8 that he's faced now in the game.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Troy Gloss. 1 out, 2 men on. Hernandez sets and delivers. Gloss takes in the dirt. Ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Erstad at second, Salmon at first base. The Angels have scored a run. Eckstein led off with a walk. Both of the leadoff walks in this game, Lofton in the first and Eckstein in the third, have scored. And it's a 1-1 tie. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Gloss. He calls time and backs out of there. Hernandez taking his time. He's normally a pretty slow worker, and with men on base, even more so. And in a World Series, maybe that's even accentuated a bit more. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Low and away, ball 3. So he's a pitch away from loading him up now. Scott Spezio is on deck.
As Hernandez works here in the 3rd inning, he's thrown 58 pitches, 28 balls, and 30 strikes.
Three balls, 2 strikes to Troy Gloss. Big pitch right here. Socia might run him. Erstad at second, Salmon at first. Livan Hernandez reading Benito Santiago. Erstad gets his lead away from second base. A long look in. Now he's into his stretch. The runners go. The pitch is whacked into left field. Erstad around third. He will score. The Angels get their first lead of the game, 2-1. On to third base goes Salmon. Troy Gloss, who was all over every strike that Hernandez threw, hits a bullet into left field to drive in the go-ahead run here in the 3rd inning. And that's going to bring the pitching coach out to the mound for San Francisco. That is Dave Righetti.
Well, Troy Gloss, who's been a Mr. October for the Angels, delivers another RBI hit. Most of his RBIs in this postseason have come on home runs. He's driven in 8 runs in the postseason, has 6 solo homers.
They still have an opportunity to get more with runners at first and third. Still only 1 out. It's 2-1 Angels here in the 3rd inning. And Scott Spezio at the plate. Spezio walked his first time up.
Well, the only batter that Hernandez has gotten in this inning was Garrett Anderson, and that was on that ball that Garrett lined out to Barry Bonds' ball that was well hit to left.
Here's the pitch to Spezio. Outside, ball 1. Hernandez is missing. And when he gets it over the plate, he's not fooling anybody. The Angels really have a chance to break through right here in the 3rd inning. They lead it 2-1. 1 ball, no strikes to Scott Spezio. Hernandez into his stretch. The 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed. That was a good breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Giants, as a team, have a 4.42 earned run average in postseason play. Hernandez has thrown 26 pitches this inning. He threw 10 in the first. 1-1 pitch, fastball outside, ball 2. It's 2 balls and 1 strike to Scott Spiezio.
Well, again, credit the Angels hitters for a lot of plate discipline. Not chasing bad pitches, forcing Hernandez to come in with strikes.
Runners at first and third, 1 out. 2 runs in for the Angels in the 3rd inning. Throw to first base, getting back in his Gloss. Gloss at first, Salmon at third. Spiezio wanting at the very least a fly ball to get a run in. Jay Watasic is up in the bullpen, so Dusty Baker senses the same thing that we can obviously see from up here, that Hernandez is having a very tough time here in the 3rd. Another throw to first. 2 balls, 1 strike to Spiezio. Outfield straightaway, the crowd a little bit quiet right now as the Angels are rallying here in the 3rd inning after falling behind 1-0 tonight. Meanwhile, Ortiz, a long rest over there in that dugout. 2-1 to Spiezio. There goes Gloss. The pitch is lined into right center field. That's in there for a hit, and it's going to roll all the way to the 421 sign. Salmon scores. Gloss scores. It's a triple for Spiezio. The Angels lead it 4-1. Spiezio drills one into the gap. And if Sanders doesn't get to it, it's going to keep on rolling. That's the deepest part of the ballpark. The Angels' hit and run works to perfection.
Scott Spiezio with 2 more RBIs. He's driven in 15 runs in this postseason in 12 games. Most RBIs by any Angel here in the playoffs. And boy, what a spot there to pick up his first postseason triple.
Boy, the Angel attack just keeps on coming. 4 runs here in the 3rd inning. Adam Kennedy at the plate now. The infield drawn in for the Giants, and Hernandez on the ropes. The pitch to Kennedy, outside and high, ball 1. Kennedy had a ground rule double his first time up. Adam having a great postseason. 3 for 9 in this World Series. Born in Riverside, went to Cal State Northridge. He waits up there 1-0, and the pitch by Hernandez is grounded foul into the Angel dugout on the first base side. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Angels are getting one good swing after another against Livan Hernandez.
It's a big Angel rally, but you can never have enough. You only have to go back to Sunday to know that, when the Angels jumped ahead 5-0 and then had to come from behind to win. 1 ball, 1 strike to Kennedy. Spiezio at third base. Hernandez backs off the rubber. So Mr. Untouchable in the postseason has been touched up here in the 3rd inning. Livan Hernandez, who backs off the mound again, and now he wants Santiago to come out and talk to him. So a conference on the mound between Santiago and Hernandez, while Watasic continues to get loose in the Giant bullpen. The count, 1 ball and 1 strike to Adam Kennedy. Benji Molina on deck. Hernandez, although he is 6-0 coming in postseason, he was just 12-16 this year. 1 ball, 1 strike to Kennedy. Here's the pitch. Fastball caught the inside corner, strike 2. Hernandez wants a strikeout badly. Kennedy, of course, just wants to put it in play and give himself a chance to drive that run in with less than 2 outs on third base. One ball, 2 strikes to Adam. From a stretch, Hernandez delivers, and it's swung on and missed. That's a big strikeout. Kennedy goes out. 2 down, and now Benji Molina, who was intentionally walked his first time up, at the plate. This is another big at-bat. Benji not only would like to drive in the run, He'd like to get Ortiz out of the way as far as the batting order is concerned, and they're going to put him on. Well, that probably helps Hernandez get out of the inning, but it also gets Ortiz out of the way for the next inning. So twice now, Benji Molina has been intentionally walked.
Well, with that runner at third base, they're not going to take any chances here. They know they have a lot better shot to get out Ramon Ortiz, who's waiting on deck, so why risk it?
And Ramon is not a good hitter. There's ball 4. So Livan Hernandez now has thrown 71 pitches. We're in the third inning, but remember, 8 of them were intentional balls. Ramon Ortiz looked pretty helpless his first time up. He struck out on 3 pitches. But this time he's batting with a 4-1 lead and 2 outs in the top of the third. Hernandez sets and delivers. Ortiz swings and fouls it off. So he made contact. 0-1 the count to him. If Ramon ever does put the ball in play, he can really run. That's one thing about him. If he were to swing with all his might and top one down the third baseline, he might get a base hit. 0-1 the count to Ortiz. Hernandez delivers, and it's a fastball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. A 4-run rally for the Angels here in the third inning. 1-1 pitch on the inside corner, strike 2. 1-2 to Ramon Ortiz. The 9th man to hit in the inning. The Angels have batted around. 1-2 pitch is topped foul behind home plate. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Ramon probably feels like he's right on it, doesn't he? He's touched it a couple of times.
He's made some contact.
1 ball, 2 strikes to him. Here's the stretch on the 1-2 pitch. Fastball outside. If he were to get a hit, he could sprint past Benji Molina in about 4 seconds.
Yep.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch by Hernandez is a bouncer toward third. Tough play. Hernandez backhands it and throws him out. Oh, that was close. Ortiz almost had that infield hit. But the Angels score 4 runs. On 3 hits, there was 1 San Francisco error and 2 men left. After 2.5 innings, the Angels 4, the Giants 1 on the Anaheim Angels Baseball Network. In his pitch, fastball is inside, ball 1. Rich Aurelia is only 1 for 10 in this World Series. Has not driven in a run. The Giants would love to get him going somehow, and he takes inside, ball 2. Again, we say that the last thing Ramon wants to do is walk anybody, as he has just been given a 3-run lead. He walked the leadoff man in the first, Lofton, who came around to score the Giants' run. 2 balls, no strikes to Aurelia. Ortiz winds in the 2-0 pitch, in there for a called strike. 2-1. Aurelia, the Giants' shortstop, had a good regular season. Playing shortstop pretty much every day for the Giants. He hit .257, but he had 15 home runs, and now he has a base hit into left field. A line drive single to start the third, and now they get the big boys up there, Kent and Bonds. Jeff Kent had a base hit his first time up. He hit one off the glove of Ortiz. Bonds, who is on deck, was intentionally walked his first time up. So the leadoff man aboard for the Giants in the bottom of the third inning. Jeff Kent, 2 for 10 in this World Series with a home run. Ortiz delivers. Kent takes low and away, backhanded by Molina. It was in the dirt, 1 ball and no strikes. Now Bud Black's going to go right out there and talk to Ramon Ortiz.
Well, the situation now, Rory, Ortiz pitching here in this 3rd inning, it changes a little bit because he's working with a 3-run lead, and your mindset has to be to let your players make the plays behind you. You don't have to kind of pick at corners. Just let the people behind you try and make the plays. You don't have to be too finicky out there on the mound.
1 ball and no strikes to Jeff Kent from Southern California, born in Bellflower. Rich O'Reilly at first base. Spezio holding him on. 4-1 Angels in the bottom of the 3rd. Ortiz checks first base and delivers. Kent takes high and in. Ball 2. Ramon could be working himself into a lot of trouble right here. 2 balls and no strikes to Kent. Bonds on deck. Ortiz set again. The 2-0 pitch is fouled back out of play. Oh, that was a nice catch made up there in the upper deck by a fan who brought his glove with him. 2 balls, 1 strike. Angels on the infield looking for a double play. Pinched up the middle a little bit, particularly Kennedy. So if Kent goes the other way, he has a big hole to shoot for, but he's a pull hitter. The 2-1 pitch, he pops it up foul. Spezio near the Angel dugout calling Molina off, and he makes the catch. That's a big out in foul territory. They get Jeff Kent. And with 1 out, let's see what they do with Barry. Barry Bonds was intentionally walked his first time up. We've talked a lot about the home run he hit in Anaheim in the 9th inning off of Percival. And so have the Angel players. I mean, everybody who saw that one was in awe. That was an absolute rocket.
Yeah, he was hitting some rockets in batting practice earlier tonight. He was putting them out there in that McCovey Cove.
The shift is on, and they're going to pitch to him. The stretch by Ramon and the pitch to Bonds. Fastball strike on the inside corner. 0-1 to Barry. Rich O'Reilly at first base. 1 out in the 3rd. Ortiz 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. That one's sinking away from Bonds on the outside part of the plate. So Ortiz jumps ahead of Bonds. 0-2. Benito Santiago on deck for San Francisco. Bonds calls time. Ortiz has gone right after him so far. He's ahead on the count, 0-2. Here's the stretch. Ramon's 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. He strikes out Bonds on 3 pitches. Well, there's a big out for Ortiz, and you talk about a confidence builder. He just set him down.
Yeah, that was a message right there.
2 outs in the inning now. And Benito Santiago at the plate. He got him with a low fastball. Santiago 2 for 10 tonight. Or 2 for 10 in the series. Tonight he's 0 for 1, but he drove in a run with a ground ball out. The pitch by Ortiz, a bouncing ball to 3rd. Gloss has it. He's near the bag and throws Santiago out. Nice inning for Ortiz, who strikes out Bonds on 3 pitches and gets Santiago on 1 pitch. The Giants get no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and they leave 1. So far, so good for the Angels through 3 innings as they lead the San Francisco Giants by a 4-1 score. Livan Hernandez and Ramon Ortiz so far this evening, and the Angels with a 4-run 3rd inning have the lead 4-1 as we go to the 4th. And with more play-by-play, here's Terry Smith.
All right, thanks, Rory. And the Angels will send up the top of the order. It'll be David Eckstein, Darren Erstad, and Tim Salmon against Hernandez, who has struggled the last couple of innings. He got out of a big jam in the second, but the Angels had another one of their big postseason innings, scoring 4 times last inning in the top of the third. So Eckstein will lead it off. David has lined back to the mound. He's also walked and scored. And he will be leading off an inning for the 3rd time in the first 4 innings of this game. Right-hander against right-hander. Hernandez set, and the first pitch. That one's a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 on David. John Lackey will be pitching for the Angels here tomorrow night in Game 4 of the World Series. Next pitch, and that one is bounced out towards short, fielded by Aurelia. The throw is in time, and there's one away. 6-3 on the ground out. Darren Erstad will be the next batter. Mentioning Lackey, he will oppose left-hander Kirk Reeder tomorrow in Game 4. And when John Lackey is on the mound for Game 4 of the World Series tomorrow, he will be pitching on his 24th birthday.
Sure would be a nice birthday present for him to win the ball game, wouldn't it?
It sure would. So here's Erstad, who's had another hit tonight. He has had hits in every postseason game, all 12 of them. He doubled and scored last inning. 1 for 2 tonight, the pitch. And that one misses inside for a ball. The count 1-0. You've been kind of keeping track of Darren Erstad and the way that he's been wearing his uniform in the postseason. Pitch on its way, and there's a hard hit ground ball right by the mound and through into center field. That's another hit. So Erstad just keeps on keeping on. He gets his 2nd hit tonight, and he's on at first base with 1 out for Tim Salmon.
Hit number 5 for the Angels, and I would imagine right here that Dusty Baker won't go too far with Livan Hernandez in the 4th. He was on the ropes in the 3rd, but got out of it by getting Ortiz to end the inning.
Looks like Watazik is going to head back out to the bullpen and begin loosening up. Salmon at the plate. He's 0 for 2 officially, although he has driven in a run and scored a run. Toss over to first. Erstad dives back to the bag safely. Talking about Erstad, tonight he's wearing his pants up, so he's showing a lot of the red sock out there, and he's varied his look during the postseason. It just depends on what the Angels do in the ball game, the outcome of the game. When the Angels win in postseason, he'll return for the next game with the same look. When the Angels lose a game, then he'll reverse that look. So with the Halos winning their last World Series game on Sunday, he had the pants up. Sure enough, they were up tonight as well, and they'll stay up if the Angels win here this evening. Here's the pitch, and that one is low, and the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Angels batting here in the 4th, leading the Giants 4-1. The Giants scored first in the bottom of the 1st. Infield at double play depth. Right fielder Sanders way off the line. You'll see a lot of the right fielders play that way here at this ballpark because it's so tough to get a ball out, especially to right and right center. The toss again over to first, and Erstad went back and now calls time as he is walking around over with first base coach Alfredo Griffin in foul territory. 2 balls and no strikes to count on Salmon. Waiting on deck, Garrett Anderson. Hernandez ready from the stretch. And a toss over to first, and Erstad scampers back to the bag safely. Let's pause 10 seconds for our stations to identify themselves. This is the Anaheim Angels Baseball Network.
The Anaheim Angels on Talk Radio AM570 KLAC Los Angeles. Home of Dr. Dina Dell, weekdays from 3 to 4 p.m.
Here's the pitch, and that one is outside. It's now 3-0.
Hernandez is really in trouble. He's struggling. He's having trouble throwing strikes. If he comes into Salmon 3-0, Scioscia might give him the green light. And if not, if he walks him, then he has 2 men on and only 1 out.
So we'll see what happens on the 3-0 pitch. Hernandez delivers, and that's on the outside corner for a called strike. One of the knocks on Livan Hernandez is that he doesn't like to pitch inside, and they've tried to get him to do more of that. He did a little bit of it this year, but he always likes to work hitters away, and hitters know it. And that's why he gives up a lot of hits. 499 hits allowed the last 2 seasons. There goes the runner, the pitch, and that's high and outside. Walked him. So Salmon is on. Erstad moves up to second. And you kind of sense the fans here would like to maybe see a pitching change. Dusty Baker remains in his dugout on the third base side, although they could be stalling now as Kent comes over from second base to talk to Hernandez.
I'll tell you, Garrett Anderson at the plate has hit the ball hard twice. He doesn't have anything to show for it, but he smoked one to JT Snow, and then he lined out to Bonds. 0 for 2, but he's seeing the ball pretty well out of Livan Hernandez's hands.
Dave Righetti, the pitching coach, saying something to Dusty Baker, and it looks like Dusty's going to let Hernandez go for at least another hitter. So ready is Hernandez. First pitch on Garrett, in there for a called strike. 0-1 the count.
And he's now thrown 87 pitches. We're only in the 4th inning.
And that is a tribute to these Angel hitters facing one of the most successful postseason pitchers in Hernandez, who's never lost in the postseason, 6-0. Got a kick out of Mike Scioscia before the game when we were talking about that. He said, well, Terry, Ramon Ortiz hasn't lost in the postseason either. Here's the next pitch, and that one missed a little bit low for a ball. The count even. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Tried to fool Garrett with that slow changeup, but Anderson did not go after it.
1 ball and 1 strike. Garrett swinging the bat below the knees as he sways it. Now cocks that bat. There go the runners. The pitch is a strike. Throw. No throw anywhere. Both runners steal, and runners at second and third. And how about that? The Angels very aggressive on the base path. A double steal. Erstad is third of the postseason. Salmon is first of the postseason. And Santiago, who thought about throwing to third, ended up holding on to the baseball.
Salmon did a good job to keep his eye on Erstad and break for second base as Erstad was stealing third. The Angels pull off the double steal, and the Giants still have the infield back.
1-2 pitch on Garrett. Missed inside. The count 2-2. We saw the Angels with a double steal in Game 2 of the World Series, and of course that produced a run.
All Garrett has to do is hit a ground ball, and they'll get another run.
Garrett's driven in 9 runs in the postseason. He's had hits in 9 of the 11 postseason games. So far hitless tonight. The pitch, and that one is outside. That was a slow one there, and the count 3-2.
He's not getting any outs with that slow changeup. The Angel hitters not going after those very tantalizing pitches, but they're out of the strike zone.
So the payoff pitch, hard hit ground ball to Snow. It'll score a run. Erstad will come in. Garrett is retired, but he got the job done. He hit it on the right side and brought in the runner. Salmon moves over to third. It's now a 5-1 Angels lead.
The double steal, the big play in the inning, and now here comes Dusty Baker. As Anderson's able to ground out with the infield back, it drives in a run. It adds to that Angel lead.
So with 2 outs here, we're going to have a pitching change. So we will have a break in the action here in the 4th inning. The Angels are leading San Francisco 5-1 in Game 3 of the 2002 World Series. He walked 5, 2 of the walks intentional, and he struck out 3. So Jay Watazik will take over, and this is his 5th appearance in the postseason, all in relief. No wins, 1 loss, no saves, 2.70 ERA. First pitch on Gloss in there, a called strike. 0-1 the count. After getting behind 1-0 after one inning, the Angels have come roaring back with 5 unanswered runs. And a hit here with 2 outs would be another run with the base runner at third, Salmon. 0-1 pitch. Inside, it misses. Fastball there from Witasic. The count 1 ball and 1 strike. If Gloss gets on base, Scott Spezio, who had a big 2-run triple last inning, he waits on deck. Witasic ready, and the 1-1 pitch. A swing and a miss. That was an off-speed pitch there, and Gloss was fooled, so the count on Troy, 1 ball and 2 strikes. In the postseason, Gloss has had hits in 9 of the 12 games the Angels have played. And in postseason play, he's hitting well over 300. The next delivery, that one misses low. That fastball missed. The count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Witasic in relief of Hernandez, who is the pitcher of record. He's never lost in the postseason, but leaves down by 4 tonight. The 2-2 pitch. That one's inside. And the count runs full. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. In this ball game, we have already had 8 walks between the pitchers that have worked. But that's a little bit deceiving because 3 of the 8 have been intentional walks. Count full here on Gloss. The 3-2 delivery. Did he go around on the appeal? They say he didn't. It's ball 4. Another walk. Runners at the corners. And now Scott Spezio will be the batter. He's having a good night. 6th walk issued now by the Giants, and we're only in the top of the 4th. Spezio has a walk. He's also tripled in 2, 1 for 1 tonight in the World Series, 3 for 7. And in this postseason, he's driven in a club high 15 runs. Switch hitter batting left against the right-handed reliever Witasic. Here's the pitch. There's a hard hit ground ball. It's out of the reach of the diving second baseman Kent. It's in the right field. Salmon scores. Runners at first and second. And it's a 6-1 Angels lead. So Spezio with his 3rd RBI of the night. And the Angels have their 2nd run in this inning. That'll close the book on the starter, Livan Hernandez. All 6 runs scored by the Angels will go against Hernandez. And the batter now will be Adam Kennedy. Runners at first and second. Adam has doubled in 2 times up. Well, the Angels picking up tonight right after where they left off in game 2 with the 11 runs. 6 are on the board already tonight. And we're only in the top of the 4th. Pitch was in there on Kennedy. The count 0-1. Angels have made the most of their 6 hits, scoring 6 runs. But the thing that's really hurt the Giants tonight, a lack of execution. The pitch, that's lined off the pitcher. The ball ricochets into left field, being waved around, and coming in is Gloss. He'll score. Witasic unable to stop that smash to the mound, and then the ball ricocheted into left. That ball hit him. I don't know if it got him on the arm or where, but they'll take a look at him. In any case, 7-1 Angels.
The way he reacted looked like it hit him on the arm, and there's been a lot of talk, of course, that these balls are wound tight. As a matter of fact, there was some talk by some pitchers to say, hey, what if somebody hits one right at me? And that's just what happened to Witasic. The replay shows that Kennedy just belted that ball, and it got Witasic on the right arm. He never had a chance to put his glove up. He might be knocked out of this game. That's his pitching arm.
So we'll see what happens there, but sure enough, he was hit on the pitching arm.
By the time he moved his glove, as though to make a play on it, it had already hit him and gone into left field. That ball ricocheted right off him into shallow left field. It drives in another run. The Angels lead 7-1. And Witasic is being examined. You'd have to think he might be doubtful to stay in the ball game. That was a bullet.
I think he's going to throw a warm-up toss here to see how it feels. He had moved the arm down toward his side to kind of protect himself, kind of flinched a little bit, and then sure enough the ball struck right around his elbow area. And he has started to loosen up. No one is warming up for the Giants. If they have to pull Witasic here, it would be an injury replacement, and they would have enough time, as much as they need, to have someone get loose and continue for them on the mound.
He threw a couple of pitches. You could see him tell Dusty, "I'm all right." Dusty said, "Throw another one," because the pitches that he threw were not close to strikes, and I don't think Dusty's convinced. They're still talking to him, along with Dave Righetti and the trainer. Witasic wants to stay in, and he threw a couple of pitches, and now you can read the trainer's lips saying, "Are you sure you're all right?" And I think maybe Baker now has heard what he wants to hear, and he will leave him in for now.
And they're going to let him throw a few more warm-up tosses, and rightfully so, and he says he's ready. So you got to tip your cap to Witasic for hanging in there. That ball that was hit off the bat of Adam Kennedy was absolutely scorched. And on a chilly night like tonight, you get hit by a ball, you're going to feel it. And he felt it just because of the sheer velocity that ball was coming back to the mound.
If it hit him on a bone, he's probably going to swell up. They'll check him again between innings.
So here's Benji Molina, who is the 8th batter up in the inning. The Angels sent 9 to the plate last inning. First pitch is swung on and missed for strike one. It was an off-speed pitch, looked like a slider, and the count 0-1.
Benji's 0 for 7 in the series. He's been intentionally walked both times up tonight, but getting a chance to swing the bat now.
Witasic set, delivers, and that one was way low and outside. Good stop by the catcher Benito Santiago. Well, we're still early in this game, but you gotta like the Angels' position right now. A 7-1 lead, batting here in the 4th inning. And Ramon Ortiz, who is the starter for the Angels, has looked pretty good. Had a bit of a shaky first inning, but settled down the last 2 innings. A pitch. That one is lined into right center field. It's going to drop in. Being waved around is Spezio. Throw to the plate is late. He'll score standing up. And the Angels now on top on that hit by Benji Molina. His first in the World Series. It's 8-1.
So the Angel attack has just been unstoppable in Game 2, and now again in Game 3. They are all over the Giants.
And here's Ramon Ortiz.
Ramon batting for the 3rd time with men on base.
Witasic is ready. The pitch on Ortiz. Right in there for a called strike. Benji Molina, who got the RBI hit that brought in Spezio. He had been walked intentionally his first 2 times up, so he had no chance to get a hit. And the first time he was able to swing the bat tonight, he delivered. There's a swing and a miss by Ramon, who's quickly in the hole, 0-2. Ramon nearly got an infield hit his last time up. In fact, it took a fine play by the starter for the Giants, Livan Hernandez, to field a ball and throw him out on a close play at first. The pitch, 2-strike delivery. It's fouled back to the screen.
The Angels, as you might well imagine, have taken this big crowd right out of the game.
Angels have had 15 of their last 21 batters reach base safely in this ballgame. 0-2 pitch, and that's a called 3rd strike, and that'll end the inning. So Ramon is out looking, and the Angels have put their 2nd 4-run inning together in back-to-back innings here in Game 3 of this World Series. the bottom of the fourth. JT Snow, the batter, first pitch. That one misses high and away for ball. The count 1 ball and no strikes. Here's the 1-0 on Snow. Hard hit ground ball, but foul over on the right side. Count even. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. JT Snow with a bouncer back to Ramon Ortiz. His first time up. He's 0 for 1. Ramon in this ball game, he's retired 8 of the last 10 that he's faced. The pitch, and that one is in there for a called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. JT Snow, a hero for the Giants in Game 1 of the World Series. 1-2 pitch. That one bounces in there. The count even. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Snow swaying the bat below the knees. Left-handed hitter. 2-2 pitch. That one's low again. The count runs full. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. JT Snow, at one time a switch hitter, now batting only left-handed. He struggled as a switch hitter, batting from the right side. Here's the 3-2 delivery, and it's grounded fair on the first base side, right at Spezio, and one first baseman retires another. That Ortiz would give the Angels a great start, and so far so good. Of course, it's a lot easier working with a 7-run lead. The pitch popped in the air on the first base side, foul but playable, and right near the coaching box making the catch on it is Scott Spezio, so that's the second out. 2 gone, and you kind of sense a little bit the body language of the Giants right now. They're a down team, and it's not too hard to figure out why. The way the Angels roared back tonight. This was a 1-0 ball game in favor of the Giants going to the 3rd inning, and here we are in the 4th inning, and it's 8-1 Angels. The pitch, that's ball 1. It's 1-0 on David Bell. Looking ahead to the 5th inning, and the 5th inning will go the same way the 3rd and 4th innings went, with the top of the order at the plate. There's a pitch that's tipped foul off of Benji Molina. Benji wearing the goalie style mask, the catcher's mask, and he's also wearing one of those woolen ski caps tonight. So he's bundled up a bit, has his ears covered with the ski cap, and then that goalie style mask protecting his face. And the pitch, that one misses low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bell will walk his first time up. Ortiz has walked 3. 1 of the walks intentional. 2 of them came in the 1st inning. The pitch, that's low, and he falls behind. It's now 3 balls and 1 strike on David Bell. 2 outs, nobody on. Giants batting in the 4th. Angels leading Game 3 of the World Series 8-1. There's a swing and a miss on that 3-1 fastball. Count full, 3-2. Well, if Ramon Ortiz continues to pitch effectively tonight, he could be a guy that the Angels would use if needed later on in this series as a starter. The pitch, that one's ripped foul over on the left side, and the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Ortiz's spot would come up in Game 7 of this World Series if the series went that long. But Mike Scioscia had kind of hinted that if it did go 7, get to it after the pitch. That one's hit hard, but foul down the left side, back to the seats and out of play, and it's still 3 balls, 2 strikes. The Angels skipper saying that if the series went 7 games, that there was a possibility John Lackey, who's scheduled to pitch tomorrow night in Game 4, that he could come back and start a Game 7. The pitch, that one's fouled off. But if Ramon does his job and does it well here tonight, he's looking good so far. He could be the guy that the Angels might go to if this series is stretched to a full 7 games. 3 balls and 2 strikes. the next delivery. That one's fouled off again, so pretty good battle going on here between David Bell and Ramon Ortiz. David Bell coming from a baseball family. His father, Buddy Bell. His grandfather, former big leaguer Gus Bell. 3-2 pitch. Popped on the right side. Foul. Spezio chasing. He'll run out of room, though. It's back to the seats and out of play. So the count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Fans, when it comes time to paint, visit your nearest Southern California Frizzy paint and wall covering store. You'll find quality products, expert advice, and old-fashioned service. 3-2, the count holding here on Bell. The pitch, he pops it up. Foul behind the plate. Molina goes back, has a play, and didn't have a play. It got back just out of his reach. The wind coming in off the bay took that one back out of play. Just went over the backstop area to the first row. Benji thought he had a shot at that one. Took off that mask of his. You saw his Angels ski cap. A lot of the Angels players wearing those in the dugout right now. His brother Jose Molina has one on. 3-2 delivery, and it just missed. Little bit low. That was a pretty good at bat there by Bell, who fouled off a lot of pitches and then eventually gets the 2-out walk. So Ramon issues his 4th walk in the game. And now it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter with the pitcher scheduled to bat. Pedro Feliz is going to see his first at bat here in the World Series. He's had only 2 postseason at bats, 0 for 2. Right-handed hitter, the pitch, and he swings and misses that off-speed delivery for strike 1. 0-1 the count. One thing about the Giants bench, their bench does not measure up to the Angels bench. 0-1 pitch, and that one is low. Count even 1-1. Aaron Foltz, a left-hander, is loosening up. So he will be taking over when we get to inning number 5. We're in the bottom of the 4th. 8-1 Halos. The pitch. That one's tapped foul. Right back to the batter waiting on deck, Kenny Lofton. So the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Feliz, a young player the Giants are high on. They think in time he's going to be a pretty good major league producer for them. Pitch on its way. That one missed outside. The count even. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hope you're enjoying the action tonight wherever you're listening to Angels World Series action. Terry Smith along with Rory Markus, our producer engineer here at Pac Bell Park, is Darren Chan. Frank Laffarelli back at our headquarters at AM570 KLAC in Los Angeles. That pitch is low, and it's now 3-2. Got Spezio signaling from first base over toward the other Angels fielders on the left side. 2 outs, runner at first. Spezio playing off the bag with the Angels having the 7-run lead. And the 3-2 delivery. It's lifted high in the air into left field and hanging up. Garrett Anderson hardly has to move. He's under. He'll squeeze it, and that will end the inning. Not a whole lot happening for the Giants in the bottom of the 4th. No runs, no hits, no errors, a walk, and they leave their 5th runner on base. And that one's in there for strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. The attendance tonight, 42,707, 42,707. That one's fouled back behind home. Let's pause 10 seconds for our stations to identify themselves. This is the Anaheim Angels Baseball Network.
You're listening to the Anaheim Angels on Talk Radio AM570 KLAC Los Angeles. Home of Michael Jackson, weekdays 9 till noon.
David Eckstein awaits the 2-strike delivery from Fultz, who has a long look in for the sign, now ready to go. And here it comes. It's smacked to the shortstop. Aurelia has it. His throw to first in time. And there's one away. Eckstein, who just led off this 5th inning, leading off an inning for the 4th time tonight in 5 innings.
Ortiz has made the last out 3 times.
Yep.
But that's good for the Angels. That means they're scoring a lot of runs. One thing about Fultz, Terry, he's effective against lefties.
Well, we'll see how he does here against Darren Erstad. Left-hander against left-hander. And the pitch. That one is popped into shallow left center field. Long run for Lofton. Doesn't get there. It drops in for a base hit. So Erstad, whose bat has been sizzling in postseason, gets his 3rd straight hit tonight. He's hitting over 400 now in the playoffs. And he's had at least 1 hit in every Angel postseason game.
Boy, he's getting them every which way, too. Drilling him into the gaps or blooping one in as he did right there. Erstad's just hot right now.
Got a kick out of Darren before the World Series began. And, of course, the Angels had the long layoff, nearly a week layoff, and someone was asking him whether or not the layoff would affect the hitters, and he said, hey, after 170 games, if you're not ready to get your hacks in, it's too late. There's a pitch that misses for a ball to count 1 ball, no strikes. And boy, the Angels' bats have been hot in this World Series. We saw it in Game 2 on Sunday, and boy, we're seeing it again tonight here in Game 3. 1-0 pitch. Salmon hits one in the air into left center field. Going over his Bonds. He will make the call and catch, and that'll be the 2nd out.
You look at Erstad, he had 625 at-bats in the regular season. You should be ready after that.
So now the batter is Garrett Anderson. Garrett's 0 for 3 tonight, although he has driven in a run. And he's had 10 RBIs this postseason in 12 games. Up and down the Angels lineup, it just seems like everyone is having an outstanding postseason.
Yeah, it's disappointing for the crowd right now here at Pac Bell Park to be in the 5th inning trailing 8-1. It's like paying top dollar to see a big heavyweight fight, and it ends in a 1st-round knockout. You didn't get much for your money.
Pitch on Garrett. He swings and misses that off-speed pitch for strike 1, 0-1. In the Angels lineup tonight for Game 3 of the World Series, 6 of the Angels hitters hitting over 300 in the postseason. And of course, one of those batters was the pitcher, so pretty much 6 of the 8 regulars in the lineup. And you had Fulmer on the bench tonight with no DH. He's hitting well over 300 in postseason play. Wooten has had a terrific postseason. Benji Gill has done his job in the postseason, and he will likely be at second base tomorrow night when the Giants send Kirk Reeder, a left-hander, to the mound. 1 ball and 1 strike to count here on Garrett. 8-1 Angels batting in the 5th. Angels have had a pair of 4-run innings. The pitch, and that one is in there, a high strike. 1-2 the count. Anderson awaits the 2-strike delivery. Here it comes, and a hard hit ground ball by Snow and through into right field. Erstad got a late start, but he will still move on to third base. Garrett Anderson gets in the act with his first hit tonight, and the Angels have him at the corners now with 2 outs for Troy Gloss.
Garrett's first hit, but he's hit the ball hard every time up. Last time up, he got a run in with a ground ball out to Snow. That time he got it past Snow.
So the Angels, in less than 5 innings, have had 10 hits. In Game 2 of the World Series on Sunday, the Angels had 16 hits. Halos, in a losing cause in the opening game of the World Series, had 9 hits. Here's the pitch, and that's a called strike on Gloss. 0-1 the count. Angels have outscored the Giants 8-1 and out hit them 10-2. 2 outs. Infield is back. A hit means another run. Ross has driven in 1 tonight, and he swings and lifts one into shallow right field. Long run for Sanders. Now he's under. He'll make the catch, and that will end the inning. So for the first time in the last couple innings, the Angels fail to score. Giant fans who have not had much to cheer about tonight. They're trying their best to get their home club going, but they're going to have to come from way back. Still time to do it, but you got to like the Angels' chances tonight in Game 3. The pitch, that one is inside for a ball to count 1-0. Ortiz has given up only 2 hits tonight, but he has walked 4. Next pitch, that one's popped foul on the right side, out of play. Count even. It's 1 ball and 1 strike on Kenny Lofton. A walk and a ground out. He scored their only run. He's had a stolen base. Giants got the first run in this game, and then the Angels have roared back with 8 unanswered runs. A pitch. That's low. 2 balls and a strike. Ortiz delivers the 2-1 pitch. It's lifted high in the air and deep into right field, but into the wind. So on the warning track, making the catch on it is Tim Salmon. Balls will just die out there. That ball was hit a long way, but a routine play as Salmon was able to get to it and just wait for it to come down on the track. So that's the first out. Rich Aurelia will be the next batter. He's had 1 of their 2 hits. The 2 hits they've had have both been singles. Benji Molina out there to talk with Ramon Ortiz. He's been getting advice all night long, whether it's been Benji coming over or third baseman Troy Gloss. Bud Black's made a couple of visits to the mound tonight. Bud Black has talked to Ramon when he's gotten back to the dugout during the half-inning breaks. The pitch. That one's pitch high and away for a ball. The count 1 ball, no strikes. 339 down the left field side. Just 309 to right, but the ball does not carry to right field with the wind coming in off the bay. The pitch. And there's a ball that's well hit into left field, and that one is gone. Aurelia on a 1-0 pitch jumped on it, and little doubt about that one as it was hit out to left. So the Giants get their second run in the game. It's now 8-2 Angels. Ortiz during the regular season gave up 40 home runs, more than anyone in the majors. 32 of them were solo shots, and that one there a solo shot as well. That's the first home run that he's given up in his 3 postseason starts. Jeff Kent will be the next batter. Ramon waiting for the right field umpire to retrieve something that was thrown onto the field, and now Kent will be advancing to the plate. Ortiz had retired to 7 of the last 8 prior to that home run by Aurelia. His 5th home run in the playoffs. The pitch fouled back by Kent, and the count, no balls and 1 strike. Jeff Kent, like a lot of these Giant players before the ball games, and even during the workout here yesterday, there's a pitch that misses, and the count even. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. A lot of the Giants players, and Dusty Baker, their manager, encourages them to bring their sons to the ballpark, let them out on the field. The pitch grounded through the left side. That's a base hit. And now Barry Bonds will be the batter. So Kent with his 2nd single. And Bonds, who his last time up struck out on 3 pitches, will be the batter. When he stepped up to the plate his first time up back in the 1st inning, he batted with runners at the corners And even with first base occupied, the Angels intentionally walked him to load up the bases. They put the shift on, 3 infielders on the right side. They'll pitch to Bonds here, and the first pitch is outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Well, Bonds got a hold of one here. He could certainly give his Giants a lift. 1-0 pitch. That one is in there for a called strike. 1-1. It's a 6-run Angels lead with a runner on at first base and 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. 1-1 pitch. And there's a drive. It's well hit into center field. Erstad is back. It's gone to dead center field. He hit it out to dead center, 400 feet plus. So now the Angels lead, which was a 7-run lead. It is down to a 4-run lead. Still a good lead, but the Giants have come roaring back. 3 runs in the inning, 2 home runs by the last 3 hitters, and that will get action in the Angels bullpen. Well, we had a slugfest in game 2. The game the Angels won 11-10. And this one now starting to heat up. Bonds has now hit 7 home runs here in this postseason. And that is an all-time postseason record. He and Troy Gloss had come in, each with 6 postseason home runs this year. And Bonds, the first player ever to hit 7 in one postseason. And he's hit a home run in each of the 3 games of this World Series. So 8-4 the score. Meeting at the mound is over, and at the plate now is Benito Santiago, and the pitch misses ball 1, 1-0. Well, it's just amazing the kind of year that Bonds had, and he has continued it here in the postseason. He batted .370 this year with 198 walks. There's a 1 hopper that's hit to Eckstein, and he will throw to first, and that gets Santiago, who doesn't run very well at age 37. So the 2nd out in the inning. JT Snow will be the next batter. The action in the bullpen for the Angels, right-hander Brendan Donnelly. Snow is 0 for 2, 2 groundouts this evening. 8-4, the Angels leading, bottom of the 5th. Here's the pitch. And JT Snow lifts a shallow fly ball into left field. Garrett Anderson will call off David Eckstein, the shortstop, and Garrett makes the catch, and that will end the inning. But some fireworks for the Giants, who have hit 9 home runs now in the first 3 games of the World Series. In the inning, they got 3 runs, and they did it with 3 hits, home runs by Aurelia and Bonds. In the inning, no errors and nobody left. We've completed 5 and head to the 6th inning. 8-4 Angels in Game 3 of the 2002 World Series. Well, this one is heating up as we get ready to go to the 6th inning. It's 8-4 Angels. And the first batter up for the Halos here in the top of the 6th is Scott Spiezio, who's having a big night. He gets ready to bat against Aaron Foltz, the left-hander. So Scott will bat from the right side, and the first pitch is an off-speed delivery, swung on and missed for strike 1. With Barry Bonds hitting a home run now in each of the first 3 games of this World Series, he becomes just the 2nd player in Major League history to do that, hit homers in first 3 games of a World Series. The only player that had done that prior to tonight was Hank Bauer, who did it with the Yankees back in the 1958 World Series against the Milwaukee Braves. The pitch, and that one is low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Spiezio with 3 RBIs tonight. A run scored, 2 hits and a walk. The pitch, and he pops that one up on the right side, foul. That one's going to get back to the seats and out of play. Right side of home. And the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Scott Spiezio is trying to come up with a World Series title and be the second member of his family to do it. His father, Ed, was with the St. Louis Cardinals in 1964 when they won the World Series. The pitch, ball chopped over the mound, charging is Aurelia, has it, throws, and Spiezio is retired. 6-3 on the ground out, 1 away. Adam Kennedy will be the next batter. Mentioning father-son World Series champions, if Scott Spiezio gets that World Series championship ring with the Angels this year, he would join Bob Boone and Ray Boone, Mike Hegan and Jim Hegan, and Stan Javier and Julian Javier. There's one that's fouled back behind the plate. No balls and 1 strike. So the Spiezio father-son duo trying to become one of just a few that have ever done that. Father-son combos. There have been only 3 so far in the history of Major League Baseball. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that hits the batter, Adam Kennedy. He turned on that pitch, saw it was coming in, and Fultz hits him. So the Angels have a 1-out base runner, and the batter now will be Benji Molina. Well, the Angels have been getting them on in all different ways tonight, along with a lot of hits. 6 walks have been issued to Angel hitters tonight, and now batter hit by a pitch, so a lot of base runners. Angels have stranded 9 in 5 innings, but have also scored 8 and lead it 8-4 here in the 6th inning. We do see Brendan Donnelly continuing to warm up down the right side, so Mike Scioscia must be thinking that 5 innings from Ramon Ortiz will be all that he will get tonight. The pitch, that one is high and away, it misses, and the count, 1 ball, no strikes. Fultz, who is working here, is working in his 2nd inning of relief. Livan Hernandez started the game, then we saw Jay Witasic, and now Fultz, and again a toss over there to first base, and back to the bag safely goes Adam Kennedy. They tell us the home run that Bonds hit in the bottom of the 5th inning to center field went 430 feet. The pitch, that one is way high and outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Infield is at double play depth. Benji Molina has an RBI single tonight, his first hit in the World Series. He's also had a couple of intentional walks. The pitch, that's outside, and the count goes to 3-0. When Benji batted in the 2nd inning, and again in the 3rd inning, they intentionally walked him so they could pitch to Ramon Ortiz, and the strategy worked as they got Ortiz on a strikeout and a ball that was fielded by the starting pitcher Hernandez, and here on a 3-0, it's ball 4. So Benji gets another walk. That one wasn't intentional, but he's on, and now runners are on at 1st and 2nd. And with Ramon Ortiz's spot in the order, it looks like Sean Wooten will be coming in to pinch hit. Dave Righetti is headed out to the mound to have a word with Fultz. So we'll see Wooten pinch hit. Sean has had a good postseason, although neither one of these teams has gotten much action out of their pinch hitters in the postseason. The pinch hitters for the Giants in the postseason have gone 0 for 7, and the Angels pinch hitters in the playoffs. But the entire playoffs, Angels pinch hitters have gone 0 for 8. Wooten in the postseason batting .471. He's had 8 hits and 17 times up, including a homer and 3 runs batted in. So the Angels looking to add on here with one out. 2 on base. Wooten will be the batter. Let's pause 10 seconds for our stations to identify themselves. This is the Anaheim Angels Baseball Network.
You're listening to the Anaheim Angels on Talk Radio AM570 KLAC Los Angeles, home of Clark Howard, weekdays from 4 to 7 p.m.
First pitch on Sean. That one misses low and away for a ball. It's 1 ball, no strikes. One ball, no strikes to count. Wooten stepping out of the batter's box, taking a couple extra practice swings, tired of waiting on Fultz. Now Sean back in there. Felix Rodriguez is warming up. Might recall he gave up that big home run to Tim Salmon, which turned out to be the game winner in Game 2. The 1-0 pitch. Wooten looks it over. It's in there for a strike. 1-1 to count. Two on base. Lead runner at second is Adam Kennedy. On at first base, Benji Molina. Angels have an 8-4 lead, batting here in the 6th inning. The pitch. It's popped in the air on the right side. The first baseman Snow in foul ground is under. He'll make the catch. And the runner's holding on. So Wooten is retired on the foul pop. 2 outs in the inning. And David Eckstein will get ready to bat for the 5th time tonight. 5 at bats already in 6 innings for the Angels leadoff man. David is officially 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. Eckstein came into this game with hits in 10 of the 11 postseason games for the Angels. He's trying to get his first hit tonight. And in the postseason now, he's batting .288. Fultz is ready. The pitch on Eckstein. He lines one into center field. It's going to drop in for a base hit. Being waved around is Kennedy. The throw will be cut off. He'll score. And Eckstein delivers a 2-out RBI single. The Halos have a 9-4 lead. The first hit of the night for David Eckstein is one that counts. It puts a run on the board. Angels add on here in this inning. On the play, Benji Molina advanced just 1 base, so he's at second. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. Angels have scored runs now in 3 of the last 4 innings. Have a 5-run lead. 9-4 the score. Here's the pitch, and taking a strike is Darren Erstad. He's having another big postseason ball game for the Halos. 3 hits tonight, 2 runs scored, and in the postseason, Erstad is hitting right at .400. Here's the next pitch, and he pops a ball towards the shortstop, and jumping up on the outfield grass, couple steps back is Aurelia. And that will end the inning. So the Angels settle for 1 run here in the 6th. Doing it with only 1 hit. There's a batter hit by a pitch, a walk. And in the inning, no errors. 2 more runners left on base. That Donnelly will face will be Reggie Sanders. Sanders, Bell, and then they will go with a pinch hitter for their pitcher Fultz. We'll give you the numbers on Ortiz in just a moment. Donnelly is set. He delivers. And the first pitch, that one misses for a ball. The count 1 ball and no strikes. Ramon Ortiz worked 5 innings, gave up 5 hits, 4 runs, all earned. He walked 4, 1 intentionally, struck out 3, and gave up 2 home runs. Ortiz can be the winner tonight in Game 3 of the World Series. The pitch, that one is high and away. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Donnelly in the postseason appearing for the 8th time, all in relief. No wins, no losses, no saves. ERA is 7.71. He's set. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Here's the pitch, and Sanders swings and misses that one for a strike to count. 2 balls and 1 strike. Angels handing it over to the bullpen, and hoping the bullpen can deliver the final 12 outs in this ball game and preserve the lead. Time was called. Sanders stepping out of the batter's box. Infield is back. And the next pitch on Sanders, he swings and misses that one. That was another fastball. Count even, it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. The book on Reggie Sanders, he's a good low fastball hitter, and that he will crush breaking balls, but he has trouble with the fastballs that are up in the zone and also sliders down and away. In the World Series, 3 for 9 with a couple of home runs, so he's hit some of his pitches in this series. Hitless tonight. The next delivery, he swings and fouls that one off on the right side, out of play. The count holding at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Don't forget, after Game 3 of the World Series, Angels report will follow. We'll have a recap of the scoring, some of the play-by-play highlights. We will have a preview of Game 4 of the World Series. That's tomorrow night. And then also have some interviews down on the field and also some of the press conferences for you. That's all coming up right after Angels baseball. The 2-2 on Sanders. It's a high fastball that misses. Out of the zone, the count full, 3-2. Sanders flicking his bat a bit out of the box before moving back in there. Brendan Donnelly, one of 4 rookie pitchers on the Angels postseason roster. Here's the 3-2. It's lifted in the air into right field. Salmon comes over a few steps, makes the catch, and that's the first out. So 1 away. The batter now will be David Bell. The Angels have 6 rookies on their postseason roster. The 4 rookie pitchers are Donnelly, Lackey, Frankie Rodriguez, and Scott Shields. We haven't seen Shields pitch at all in the postseason, but he is on the active roster. And then the 2 position players that are rookies, Sean Figgins and backup catcher Jose Molina. The Giants have only 1 rookie player on their postseason roster, and that's Yorvit Torrealba, their backup catcher, who has not played in the postseason. Santiago, their veteran starter, has caught every inning of the postseason. First pitch, a ball, the count 1 ball and no strikes. Bell at the plate. Donnelly delivers, and that one is in there for a strike. The count even, it's 1-1. 9-4 Halos, bottom of the 6th. Giants scored first in the first, and then the Angels scored 8 unanswered runs with a pair of 4-run innings, the 3rd and 4th. Giants got 3 in the 5th. Angels got a run in the top of the inning in the 6th. Had 1-1 pitch, misses. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bell has walked both times he's batted tonight. Both of those walks came against the starter Ramon Ortiz, who walked 4 in 5 innings. Two balls and a strike on Bell. The next delivery takes that one, and it's ball 3. So he's showing a good eye. And the count, 3 balls and 1 strike. Bell, during the regular season, walked 54 times. $68 times this year. And he's gotten a bunch of them in the postseason as well. Intentional walks. He's been walked intentionally in the postseason, including tonight, 8 times. The pitch. Popped foul over on the right side. That one's going to head back to the seats and out of play. Mentioning Barry Bonds of the Giants, he came into this postseason with a lifetime postseason batting average of 196. There's always been that label against Bonds that he's a very good player, a great player, but he had never really performed well in the postseason. Well, they can't say that about him this year because he has had some kind of a postseason, and that's despite getting walked intentionally quite a bit. He's not getting a whole lot of pitches to swing at. 3-2 delivery. Fouled off again on the right side, backing out of play. Bonds in this postseason tying one all-time postseason mark. Actually a World Series mark with home runs in each of his first 3 World Series games. And setting a new postseason home run record for homers in a postseason. 7 home runs in this postseason, and we still have some more games left of this World Series. 3-2 pitch. Once again fouled off by Bell. So he is really battling here against Donnelly. Brendan has already thrown 15 pitches here in this 6th inning, his first inning. And a lot of them have come here against Bell. Batter waiting on deck will be a pinch hitter. And it's Sean Dunston. The count is full. Another 3-2 pitch. After all that, he draws a walk. That was some kind of at bat right there by David Bell. He took a page out of the Angels book getting that walk. Angels usually do a good job of fighting pitches off, fouling them off. So Dunston will come in to pinch hit for the reliever Fultz. So his night is over. And they've had Felix Rodriguez warming up. We'll see if that's where they go when the Angels come up in the Ball Classic. Right-hander against right-hander. The pitch on Dunston. And he takes the first one for strike 1. Good fastball. No balls and 1 strike. 9-4 Angels in the last 2 games of this World Series. Now games 2 and 3, the Angels have scored 20 runs. Here's the pitch. Dunston swings and lifts a fly ball into left field. Garrett Anderson will call off the center fielder Darren Erstad and make the catch. Routine put out on that one. So 2 gone here in the bottom of the 6th, and the top of the order, Kenny Lofton. So far for the Angels here in this. And the Angels trying to take 2 out of the first 3 games of this World Series. First pitch is low. The count 1 ball, no strikes. Angels dropped the opener in each of their 3 playoff series. And then after dropping game 1 in the ALDS, the ALCS, and the World Series, the Angels have come back with nothing but wins. The pitch, that one's fouled off on the right side. So the count even, it's 1 ball and 1 strike. When the Angels come up in the 7th, it will be Salmon, Anderson, and Gloss. Brendan Donnelly in relief of Ramon Ortiz. Brendan is set, ready to deliver the pitch. It's popped in the air into shallow center. The shortstop Eckstein back on the outfield grass. He'll make the catch, and that will end the inning. Good inning of work for the reliever Brendan Donnelly as he retires 3 of 4. No runs, hits, or errors. A walk, 1 runner left. We've completed 6 and head to the 7th here in Game 3 of the World Series.
Barry Bonds has just received his 20th walk of the postseason. That ties the all-time record set by Gary Sheffield of the Marlins in 1997. So Bonds is certainly going to break that record in this World Series, unless some Angel pitchers forget what they're doing out there. One more walk and he'll set the all-time postseason record. All right, here's Santiago now to face Donnelly with 2 out and a man at first base. Spezia will hold Bonds on. It's 9-4 Angels with 2 out in the bottom of the 7th. Santiago has grounded out all 3 times up. One of them drove in a run. And he swings at the first pitch and pops it up. David Eckstein into shallow left field. He makes the catch, and the Giants are out in the 7th. No runs, no hits, just the walk to Bonds, 1 man left. At the end of 7, Angels 9, Giants 4 on the Anaheim Angels Baseball Network. Adam Kennedy to lead off the 8th inning. Scott Air has pitched 3 innings in the postseason for the Giants. He has not been scored upon. He delivers, and Kennedy hits one in the air into left field. Bonds has to go back on it. Barry's at the track, and he makes the catch. Kennedy flies out to deep left field. Scott Air this season was 2-4 with Toronto in 49 games with a .497 earned run average, but he performed well for the Giants. 21 appearances, no decisions, a 1.59 earned run average. In 11 1/3 innings, he gave up 11 hits.
Giants got Air, as Rory mentioned. He was with Toronto. They actually put him on waivers, so he was claimed off the waiver wire.
Now Benji Molina up there. He takes a strike on the outside part of the plate. Molina has walked 3 times, and he has an RBI single. His only hit in the World Series, so he's 1 for 8. 1 out, nobody on, top of the 8th inning. Frankie Rodriguez sits down. Ben Weber gets up. So it's Weber and Schoenweiss in the Angel bullpen. Molina takes ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to him. Hitting .216 this postseason. 1-1 the count to Benji. Here's Air into his stretch, the 1-1 pitch. A pop fly off the hands. Can't get it. It's in there for a hit. A bloop single into center field for Benji Molina, and that is his 2nd hit of the ball game. He's 2 for 2. And now Benji Gill will make his first appearance in the World Series. Benji Gill will bat for Brendan Donnelly right here. But Mike Scioscia got exactly what he wanted out of Donnelly. 2 good innings. He didn't give up any hits or runs. He did walk a couple. One of them was Bonds. But Donnelly definitely got the job done for Scioscia. Now Gill will bat for him.
Benji in the postseason, some lofty numbers. A .571 batting average. 4 hits and 7 times up.
Benji hit .285 this season. Facing Scott Air, who delivers. Gill takes ball 1. 1 out, 1 on for the Angels in the 8th inning. They lead this one 9-4.
This at bat here for Benji Gill might be a little tune-up for tomorrow night. We expect him to be at second base with Reeder, the left-hander, getting the start for the Giants.
Air checks first base and delivers. Gill hits one hard through the left side. Benji Gill joins in on the hit parade. And he has a World Series base hit. That has to feel good for Benji Gill. Benji Molina goes to second base and stops there. Runners at first and second with 1 out, and David Eckstein coming up. David Eckstein tonight. He's making his 6th appearance at the plate. He had an RBI single in the 6th, and he walked and scored a run in the 3rd. 2 on, 1 out for the Angels in the 8th, trying to add to their lead. Air delivers to Eckstein, and he takes a fastball low, 1-0. Jerry Rice is here tonight. Former 49er great, current Raider great. And great 49ers throughout the stand. Steve Young is here this evening. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Eckstein. That's grounded foul into the seats. Then it bounces right back out onto the field. Ron Renicky will pick it up. 1 ball, 1 strike to Eckstein. Terry pointed out LL Cool J, who is here tonight.
Was hoping to get an autograph from him, but he got away from me too fast.
He moves fast, that guy.
He does.
The 1-1 pitch to Eckstein, hit to the right side. Snow makes a diving stop. He has no play, though, as Eckstein beats it out at first base. Scott Air a little late in getting to first. So Snow, when he came up with it, had nowhere to throw it. It goes as a base hit for Eckstein.
Well, David always hustling, and that was a hustle hit right there.
His second hit of the game. Air's follow-through took him to the other side of the mound. He's a left-handed pitcher, and he was unable to get there in time. So the bases are loaded once again for the Angels with 1 out in the 8th inning, and Darren Erstad at the plate. Erstad already has a big night going. He's 3 for 5. He has scored twice. Infield drawn in for the Giants. The pitch from Air is a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Air is the 5th pitcher tonight for San Francisco. No balls, 1 strike to Erstad. Hitting .393 in the postseason. The pitch is popped up on the left side, foul ground. David Bell comes over, but it's out of play, and it's strike 2 to Darren Erstad. Top of the 8th inning, 9-4 Angels, 15 hits. The Angel hit parade, boy, the hits just keep on coming. They had 16 Sunday. No balls and 2 strikes. The Angels have left 12 men on base, and I know that sounds like a lot, but with all of those hits, they've also scored 9 runs. No balls, 2 strikes to Erstad. Scott Air set. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Hit right back to the pitcher. He comes home for 1, and Santiago drops the ball. Everybody is safe. Now they've got Gill in a rundown between third and home. The throw to Santiago. He tags Gill out. Everybody was safe until Benji Gill slipped rounding third, but a run scores. Instead of a 1-2-3 double play, a run is in. It's 10-4 Angels, and they have runners at second and third with 2 outs. We'll see how they score that one.
I thought Air really hurried to throw to the plate.
It was a little off, but Santiago still should have had it. He was trying to catch it and throw it at the same time. So they're going to have to charge an error. They're probably deciding whether to give it to Air or Santiago. Now Tim Salmon at the plate. It's a fielder's choice for Erstad and an RBI. Well, they might not give him an RBI if indeed that was an error on the catcher. We'll see. The first pitch to Salmon, they're trying to intentionally walk him, and Air almost threw it over the plate. Now there's ball 2. So he'll be intentionally walked to load the bases. They're flirting with danger here, walking Salmon to load him up and pitch to Garrett Anderson, but they'll have a left-hander versus left-hander matchup.
Fielder's choice E1.
They gave the error to the pitcher, Scott Air. Fielder's choice E1. So that scored Benji Molina. Then they got Benji Gill 2-5-2. So 2 outs and the bases loaded. 1 run in for the Angels, and Garrett Anderson at the plate.
With that intentional walk to Salmon, that's 8 walks by the Giants tonight.
Anderson swings through the fastball, strike one. But how many intentional? That's what, 4, I think? 3 or 4?
3, yep.
3. No balls, 1 strike. Bases loaded for the Angels here in the 8th inning. 1 more run in. They lead the Giants 10-4. That was an easy 1-2-3 double play that the Giants blew. Anderson waits. Air into his stretch. Here's the 0-1 to Garrett. It's hit in the air into center field, but it's playable. Kenny Lofton will make the catch. The Angels leave 3 more for a total of 15 in the ball game, but they get 1 more run on 3 hits, 1 error, 3 left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Scott Schoenweis is in to pitch. He goes into Salmon's spot in the order, and Alex Ochoa takes over in right. He goes into the number 9 spot, and the first pitch to J.T. Snow from Schoenweis is in there for a strike, 0-1. The 5, 6, 7, and 8 batters for the Angels tonight are 7 for 14. There's a ground ball hit right down the line by Snow into left field. He turns and holds a big turn, and he goes back to first base. As Garrett Anderson got the ball in, but Schoenweis in the pitch to the left-handed hitting Snow gives up a base hit. And I think that's going to bring Socha right back out of the dugout. Not yet. The batter is Reggie Sanders.
J.T. Snow just got that hit. Chatting with him before the game tonight, he mentioned his father, former Notre Dame and Rams wide receiver Jack Snow. He's here tonight watching J.T. in action.
The batter is Reggie Sanders, 4 for 10 in this World Series, but 0 for 3 tonight. Ben Weber getting ready in the Angel pen. Schoenweis delivers. Sanders takes down low, ball 1. We're in the bottom of the 8th. The Angels lead the Giants 10-4. The Angels have led big since the 4th. They got 3 in the 3rd. They got 4 in the 3rd and 4 in the 4th to go ahead 8-1. Schoenweis looks at first and delivers, and it's off the hands. A blooper behind second. Kennedy makes the catch. Sanders pops out to the second baseman. And with 1 out, David Bell will be the hitter. Fans, for the ultimate postseason coverage, go to worldseries.com. Get exclusive video, live audio, comprehensive stats, and inside stories. worldseries.com for baseball around the clock.
We had a scoring change from the top of the inning on the ball that Erstad hit. That was back to the mound to Scott Air. They are going to give the error now on the catcher, Santiago, for dropping the throw at the plate.
I thought that was probably the right call. There's a scorcher hit to Eckstein. He underhands to Kennedy, on to Spezio. 6-4-3 double play. David Bell hits into a double play to end the 8th inning. He hit that ball hard, but right at Eckstein. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left. We head to the 9th. Angels 10, Giants 4 on the Anaheim Angels Baseball Network. Into the top of the 9th inning, it's 10-4. The Angels lead the Giants. Troy Gloss, an RBI single in the 3rd inning. He's also walked and scored a run. Ayers' first pitch to him. Troy takes a strike on the outside corner. 0-1. Angels 10, Giants 4, top of the 9th inning. 10 runs, 15 hits for the Angels. 4 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors for the Giants. Here's the 0-1 on the way to Gloss. That's up high for a ball. A few fans have left, but most of them staying. They paid enough money for their tickets, they might as well stay to the bitter end. Nobody really drives to this ballpark, I don't think. Everybody takes public transportation. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's in there for a called strike, 1-2. There's no place to park around here.
Kind of reminds you a little bit of Safeco Field in Seattle. Not a whole lot of parking within a short distance of the ballpark.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Troy Gloss. Air delivers, and it's a line drive base hit. There is hit number 16. The right fielder Reggie Sanders plays it in. Gloss has his second hit of the ball game. And we will pause 10 seconds for our stations to identify themselves. This is the Anaheim Angels Baseball Network.
The Anaheim Angels on Talk Radio AM570 KLAC Los Angeles. Home of Gil Gross mornings 5 till 9 a.m.
Scott Spezio up there now, batting once again right-handed as he faces Scott Air. And the pitch is grounded in the hole at short. Backhanded by Aurelia. Nice feed to Kent, and they get a beautiful double play. Oh, the Giants turned a nice one there. Aurelia took it in the hole, leaped in the air, and fired to Kent, who made a nice pivot, 6-4-3.
That was a nice play. I thought Spezio was going to get his third hit of the night there. It looked like that ball was ticketed to bounce through into left field.
2 strong throws. And with 2 outs, here's Adam Kennedy. Kennedy has 2 more hits tonight. The pitch to him. In there for a strike. Kennedy has 4 hits in the series in 12 at-bats. 382 in the postseason. He's also been hit by a pitch tonight. The 0-1 pitch to Adam. Up high with it, 1 ball and 1 strike. The Angels with a 6-run lead. When the Giants bat in the bottom half of the 9th inning, they'll have the pitcher's spot, then Lofton, Aurelia, and Kent. If anybody or 2 people get on, then Bonds would hit again. Kennedy swings and misses, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bonds has a home run tonight. He has a home run in all 3 games, but the Angels are 3 outs away from being up 2-1. The 1-2 to Kennedy is hit foul off to the left. That'll go out of play. And the count still 1 ball and 2 strikes.
In the first 3 games of the World Series, the Angels have scored 24 runs in 3 games and banged out 41 hits. And the bats continue to sizzle right into the World Series. The Angels were hitting up a storm against the Yankees and then the Twins, and have continued it here against the Giants.
21 of those 24 runs coming in the last 2 games. Kennedy takes strike 3 call. So the Angels are out in the 9th inning. No runs, a hit, nobody left. But we go to the bottom of the 9th. Angels 10, the Giants 4 on the Anaheim Angels Baseball Network. We head into the bottom of the 9th inning. Ramon Martinez is up to pinch hit for the Giants. His first World Series appearance, and he takes ball 1. Leading off the bottom of the 9th against Scott Schoenweis. He's hitting for the pitcher. Martinez this year hit .271. 10-4 Angels. The pitch on the outside corner from Schoenweis. 1 ball, 1 strike. If this goes the way Mike Scioscia wants it to in the 9th inning, he'll get out of this game without using Weber, Rodriguez, or Percival. And there's a strike into Martinez, 1-2. He used Donnelly and Schoenweis in relief of Ramon Ortiz. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Martinez. The pitch, breaking ball, swung on and missed, strike 3. Schoenweis strikes out the pinch hitter to start the 9th. And with 1 down, here's Kenny Lofton. Fans, the Angels will host 2 charity golf tournaments during the month of November. The 24th annual 65 Roses Golf Classic takes place on November 4th, and the inaugural Angels Care Golf Classic on November 18th. Call the Angels Community Relations Office at 714-940-2174 for information. Kenny Lofton has a walk in 5 trips to the plate tonight, so he's 0 for 4. Pitch to him from Schoenweis, a strike, 0-1. Schoenweis seems to have some pretty good confidence right now. He's throwing strikes. Scott into his windup. The 0-1 pitch to Lofton. Swing and a miss. Good sinking fastball from Shoney, and it's 0-2. Rich Aurelia on deck. The fans here, of course, hoping that maybe the Giants can put a couple of men on and Bonds will get another chance. Curveball is hit in the air. Center field, medium depth. Erstad underneath it. Darren moving in now and makes the catch. 2 down. 2 up, 2 down. Aurelia coming up. The Anaheim Angels are proudly sponsored by the Home Depot. Look for the hammer symbol all over the store. It means that at the Home Depot, they've got lower prices nailed. Rich Aurelia has a home run tonight along with a single, 2 for 4. He hit a solo home run in the 5th inning. Schoenweiss delivers to him and he takes outside for ball 1. Aurelia had 7 RBIs in the division series against Atlanta. The 1-0 pitch from Schoenweiss. Swing and a miss at a fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Angels 10, Giants 4 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning at Pac Bell Park. The Angels are 1 out away from ensuring that at the very worst, they'll get this series back into Anaheim. The 1-1 pitch, strike 2 called. 1-2, the Giants are down to their last strike in this ball game. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 out, nobody on. Schoenweiss delivers, and the pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 3. Scott Schoenweiss has a 1-2-3 9th inning. The Angels pound the Giants in Game 3. 10-4 the final score. Another 16 hits for the Angels in this ball game, and just another halo victory. They've done it again. The Angels lead the World Series 2-1. We'll have the totals when we come back. Angels Report is next on the Anaheim Angels Baseball Network.